Alright, hey guys, it is now the 14th, and I recorded the first videos on the 11th. So if you remember correctly, we had just started Carl's route. You know, I've been stewing on this for days, obviously, and I've been thinking about certain things that are going to happen as the routes go on, and I'm getting more and more nervous, to be completely honest with you. I don't want to give anything away because obviously spoilers, but at the same time I'm like, I want to because I'm getting really fucking nervous, and more of my emotions are gonna spill through as we get into the really bad routes that fuck me up the most. So, I'm actually, I was sharing this with some friends of mine, with a friend of mine earlier, yesterday, and, he said I did a good job with Flynn's outburst at the lake. My voice apparently was weird, but like my screaming, quote unquote, was good. Anyway, I'm stalling. I know I am. Let's just get into this because, yeah, okay. This is the one. Alright, so this is Tuesday. We're on Tuesday now, and this is when the route truly begins for the characters, obviously. Turns out it was a good idea to hang out with Carl today. After texting back and forth with Leo, I learned that he's actually planning a birthday party for the Ram. Oh, I forgot about that for a second, the whole fucking miserable ass birthday thing. It's a little weird since Carl's birthday isn't for another month, but I guess it's just an excuse to have a party. Leo tells me to keep Carl distracted for the day while they go shopping for decorations and gifts. He also tells me he'll get my gift for Carl, which is fine with me. TJ's pretty bummed, though, considering it throws off his hiking plans, but Jenna promises him they'll at least hike half the trail. I want to talk to him, but he's acting pretty cold towards me, probably because I'm bailing how I promised to go with him. Here's Carl's mansion. Well, not his mansion, but his whatever. I drive to Carl's house because it's pretty far separated from the rest of Echo, up against the foothills of the Casa Demonio mountain range. Really? Demon? Yo, really? Okay. It'd probably take me 15 minutes to get up there, and there's no way in hell I'm doing that in this heat, uphill, when I've got a car. The main reason it's separated like this is because Carl's house is a mansion, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that we'll find out. Carl's family is loaded, a legacy that's followed them ever since Carl's great-whatever struck it rich over 100 years ago. James Hendricks eventually went on to start an ice cream business, at this point has spread out over most of the western half of the country. Carl's mom is the CEO, I think. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably get some shots of the mansion considering its role in the town's history. Most of the old mansion has been demolished at this point, but I think parts of it are still from the original structure. Probably best to ask first, though. I walk up to the front door and ring the doorbell, listening to the fancy chime inside. I wait for about a minute, starting to wonder if Carl's asleep or just high off his ass, when I hear some voices from behind the house. I'm definitely recognizing the crackly timbre of Carl's voice along with the high tenor of Lynn's. I have no idea what this means, but okay. I really don't know voices, I'm sorry, like the different ranges, I don't know. I head around the house, stepping carefully through the desert landscaping and walk in the backyard. 'Cause you want to make out with it, I don't even understand. No, because you like to make things weird. I just want it to be relaxed. That's when Carl notices me as I round the corner, clutching my camera bag to my side. He's leaning over a bush with a giant set of clippers while Flynn lounges up against the wall watching him. Whoa, Chase. Flynn. Carl's ears perk and he grins. Sorry, Flynn. Carl was this big-headed lizard. Was supposed to be watching for you. Flynn doesn't look at me right away. Instead shows me to pull the toothpick he's chewing out of his muzzle to look at. He's still embarrassed about yesterday. Good. That's alright. Wasn't hard to hear you guys from the front. Yeah, just doing some yard work, obviously. The rest of them behind his head. Promised my parents I'd get this done before they got back. Carl started sniffing the bush again. He's unusually sharp right now. I'm guessing because he hasn't had anything to smoke. Either way, it's jarring to see him so animated. Well, looks like you're doing a good job. Oh, he's only moving this fast because he wants to hang out with you, Chase. Even though the sentence is technically being said to me, I feel like Flynn's directing it at Carl. Carl first furrows his brow. Chase, you can go inside if you want. The back is open. I think that's a good idea because it's clear now that I've walked into an argument. You should have seen him a few minutes ago. It was like he had a girlfriend coming over. Carl sighs loudly and his snips start to get a bit more violent. No, I'm glad if some company doesn't yell at you, Flynn. Flynn looks annoyed at that, and that annoys me. He really didn't have the right to be frustrated with anyone after yesterday. Really? I only seen him be enough for you in the past. Flynn makes a kissy face. Oh, that's recontextualized now because of the benefits story. I love these two. I have no idea if this is one of their inside jokes or not. Carl stops snipping for a second and starts up again more slowly. Well, you know, this is gonna be fun. And they don't have all the parts that I like, if you know what I mean. Oh, but they don't have one. Carl smirks sideways at Flynn. Flynn sneers back, and I've decided that they're still joking. There's definitely a growing tension between them. What you saying there, Carl? Carl stops snipping and glanced at Flynn. These two. Flynn honestly turns to face Flynn. What I'm saying is that you've got no but. Before Carl could finish the sentence, Flynn turns to the right away from him. This also brings his fat tail around to slam into Carl's crotch with a whap and basically grin. Oh, I love these two. Carl jumps and squeaks before toppling to the ground. Oh man, my nuts! Yeah, definitely wish I had those, all dangly and vulnerable and shit. Anyway, I'll leave you two sluts alone. You're one to talk. Seriously, you're one to talk, Flynn. Flynn sticks the toothpick back into his muzzle, and I have to consciously try to cover my crotch when he walks by me. He hasn't looked at me this whole time. Once Flynn's gone, I slid up to Carl, who is still curled up on the ground, holding himself, and he mutters under his breath. You alright? Fuck no. There's not really anything I can do, so I rub his shoulder with a toe. Comfortingly, and he freezes up as I do, looking at my foot. I'm alright, though. He gets himself into a sitting position before he gets up awkwardly, standing bow-legged. I forgot how much Flynn likes to hit people in the nuts. I'll get him back. It still hurts if you hit hard enough. As he stands there doubled over with his paws on his knees, I look around. Carl's has actual grass in the back, which is rare in Echo. Most people either Zerai escape or just let the sagebrush take over. Another rarity are the two tall trees near the side of the yard. That's when I notice how empty one of them looks. Hey, where'd the treehouse go? Carl follows my gaze. Oh yeah, my dad took it down a few years ago. It was falling apart. His dad also built the treehouse. What? But I thought that they built it. I thought Carl's dad did the frame of it, but then they built the rest. Whatever. His dad also built the treehouse. I can remember hanging out up there, playing on a portable game console with the fan at full blast. Even then, it was still almost too hot to hang out up there. I walk up to the base of the tree and put my hand against the trunk, grinning. Man, I remember all the shit we did out there. Carl snuffles up next to me, still bow-legged, and grins too. Yeah, good times. I think about climbing it, but I notice that the branch was used to climb as a foothold has been cut off. Your dad ruined this thing. Carl scratches and scrapes at the spot where the branch used to be with a hoof. Yeah, I guess it made the mowing harder. But we didn't use it anymore, so we just cut it off. You can see Carl's looking for a way up too, and soon enough his eyes settle on a branch just above his head. I don't know if Carl's already jumped to grab onto the branch with both paws. It doesn't look very sturdy. Dude, that's gonna break. So I'm fucking fat, I'll bounce. Oh my... It's this fucking memeable ass face. There's so many that he does that are just so memeable. I'm about to tell him again that the branch is definitely going to break when I notice his shirt right all the way up his round belly. It's not like he's a bag of lard though, it's a controlled type of guy. Held tight with the muscles underneath it, pulling it in as he flexes. He notices me staring right away and kicks out at me playfully. Pervert, first my moves, now this. I jump back and tries to follow me with it. I like Carl is so good. I like him as a character. He's just I jump back and he tries to follow me with the bigger swing of his legs, and that's when the branch snaps loudly. Carl goes down once again, landing squarely on his back. I cover my face instinctively, but I still hear the hollow thud followed by the whoosh of breath coming out of his lungs. Slowly, I lower my paws and find the chubby ram rolling back and forth on the ground, eyes wide as his mouth is hanging open. A distant memory comes to mind of a time when we were both 10 and Carl was showing me a trick with his new bike ram. The handlebars ended up in his gut when he landed, and he spent the following minute rolling around the ground just like this. Good times. Shit. I suck an air through my teeth and kneel next to him, patting him uselessly. After a few seconds of hesitation, I reach over and grab the front of the waistband of his shorts and pull up on it. Even though he's completely deflated, he looks at me with a bizarre expression and swats at my paw, giving me a few breathless snorts as he tries to laugh. Hey, it's supposed to help you breathe. I've seen the coaches do it at school. I'm realizing that Carl's way too heavy to arch up like that, so I give up and end up just petting his stomach, wishing I could help somehow. Just stretch out. His breath is already coming back, but he follows my instruction anyway, and we sit there for a while, the silence punctuated by his heavy breathing. I start laughing. Jesus Christ, Carl, can you go one day without hurting yourself? He chuckles too, his belly shaking under my paw. No. Now you know why I don't go outside. He slumps back for a while, taking deep breaths before lifting his head again. He looks down at his chest at my paw and grins. Seems like you can't keep your paws off me, though. I move my paw in and pull down his shirt as he grunts and sits up. How about I just let you suffocate next time? I almost did, laughing while I couldn't breathe. I thought you were just trying to grab my dick. My paws on my hips. Is it because I'm gay? That might just be it. Awkward. I thought I chose the vice. Obviously, I keep forgetting that Chase doesn't like explaining that to people because it's complicated or whatever. Carl grabs the branch that had broken off the tree and quirks up the corner of his mouth. Dad's not gonna be happy about that. Who cares? It's a branch. You know my dad. Gets up and tosses the branch over the fence into the desert and turns back to me. So now it feels like Lucha fucking Lobo just gave me the... What the fuck? Just gave me the Quimbrado Conguero. I think I'm done for the day. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Wanna work on your project now? I'd honestly rather just hang out here with Carl. The sun's enough to put a damper on that. Yes. I need to drink some of this coffee. Ew. The fuck is that? It's like a... Crap, there's a fucking black dot here. Alright, time to drink. Carl's house is like a labyrinth. I think he once told me that it has over 30 rooms, which is fucking insane. The living room is about 5 times larger than the one at my parents' house. It's hard to miss what looks like a 100-inch flat screen against the wall. That doesn't look like 100 inches, but okay. According to Carl, the first mansion was even bigger, though. After getting a drink, he leads me straight downstairs into the basement. Down the hallway, we pass a small home theater, which looks like an entertainment room with a bar, and then a small gym. Quick glance I get shows at least 10 fitness contraptions. After that, things get a little more dingy, and I can see how a portion of the foundation could be decades old. Finally, at the end of the hall, Carl opens the door, and I can see from the ceiling that it's right under the stairs we just came down on. Carl waves his paw around and finally grasps something before pulling down. An old light bulb comes on, and I see this little door with a small latch on it. He opens it, and I'm greeted with this musty smell as Carl slides through the opening. I follow tentatively, making sure I'm not walking on any cobwebs. Are there a lot of spiders down here? I don't think so. We sprayed a few weeks ago. It's extremely dark, and I hear Carl grunting next to me. There's a floodlight down here somewhere. Here it is. Like everything in this house, it's big for a crawl space. Pillars sprout from the ground in 2 rows that stretch back almost into darkness. The ground is covered in a tarp, and I see dozens of plastic bins lining the walls. This is a lot of shit. Yeah, it's a few generations worth of shit. I walk over the tarp to look into one of the bins, and all I see is clumps of cloth and towel through the cloudy plastic. Carl walks past me straight toward the back of the crawl space, his big hooves clopping along loudly. I actually helped him sort through all this stuff last year, so I think I know where it is. I follow him, but it's hard to see in the darkness. Should we get a flashlight? Nah, it's only in 2 tubs, I think. We'll just pull him up to the front. I stand off to the side as I watch him push bins around, looking at the labels on top. I look over at one of them and see home movies written on it. It's filled with cassettes. Don't remind me. I look up and see that Carl's noticed me staring at the bin. What? Carl grunts to less of a bin and drops it pretty carelessly to the floor. I'm pretty sure I hear something break. Mom had me help her convert all that to digital. Took all fucking year. Wow. Yeah, it's in the cloud now. You're actually in a lot of those videos. Oh, really? Yeah, birthday parties and shit. Of course I would be. Carl's dad practically had a video camera glued to his eye back in the day. I used to hang out with Carl almost as much as I did Leo once we started going out. I even went on to their family vacation a few times. But then me going out with Leo changed things. Looking back, I think Carl was kind of unhappy with that. We can watch a few once we're done here if you want. Sure. That sounds like an old person thing to do, but I am curious. Found it. Carl slides out 2 plastic bins, and I see history written on the top. Help me carry one. Carl lifts up the top one, and I start wadding back to the front. I bend over and lift the second. I'm surprised how fucking heavy it is. I'm worried I'm not even going to get it off the ground for a few seconds, but I manage after a while. If Carl's bin is as heavy as mine, then he's a fucking beast at being able to lift and carry it like that. I stagger after him, almost certain that I'm going to go head first into a wall. Once we make it back near the stairs, I bend over to set my bin down, and that's when I see a massive spider sitting on the lid. It takes about half a second for me to recognize the black shape and spindly legs. Oh, fuck! I scream and drop the bin, and before I know it, I'm halfway back from where we came, panting and shivering. Holy shit, what happened? I tremble and try to steady my voice. Fucking spider. What? You're really still scared of those? Man, for a second I thought my sister came home and got murdered. You told me there weren't any. I didn't say that, I just said we sprayed. Just get rid of it. At this point, I've shuffled a little closer back to the light, and I can see Carl grin as he bends over to look at the lid of the bin. Whoa, it's got babies on its back. My body gives a violent involuntary spasm, and I shake my paws like a fucking girl. Stop it! He Glanced up at me with that stupid smile still on his face. Wow, that was gay. But seriously, it's got a bunch of tiny babies on its back. I think it's a wolf spider. I swear I'm gonna pass the hell out if he doesn't stop talking. I cover my face. Please. Alright, alright. I didn't know you were that scared of him. You should probably get that checked out. Considering that I almost crashed my car in the garage of my parents' house and a spider crawled out of the AC, he was probably right. Just kill it. Why would I do that? I watched as he tilts the bin sideways. It's not gonna hurt anyone. I want to tell him that those babies are only going to grow into 100 more giant wolf spiders. But I realized I'd just come off his bloodthirsty asshole, so I bite my lip as I watch the black spots skitter off into the darkness. You know, it's weird. It's weird because I don't know if Chase's fear of spiders is him or Sam. I really don't know. I walk back towards Carl, hugging my shoulders as I try to control the chills running through me. Now I'm getting paranoid the whole time that it's going to come back out to get me. Carl rubs my back when I stand next to him. You know, they actually clean up a lot of their bugs that get into the house. Yeah, well, I'd rather be covered in ants than spiders. It's clear he's trying not to laugh at me as he starts popping the lid off his bin. On the top of are a few framed pictures, and under those are a few more cardboard boxes. I release the latch in the other bin and keep my eye out for any black spots that might jump out at me. This one is filled with bundles wrapped in cloth or paper. Carl drags his bin to the steps so he can sit on them, and I follow suit. So how do you think you'll use this stuff? I unwrap a smaller bundle, look at the gold pocket watch underneath. Wow. Well, not totally sure. Depends on what we find. Might film a few things. There's a paper tag attached to the chain with Robert Hendricks written on it. What's this? Carl gives it a glance. No idea. Probably a great uncle or something. I wrap the pocket watch and reach back into the bin to pull out the next item. There's something really cool about old stuff. My mind wanders to who might have made it, who bought it, and how much shit it must have seen. History is my first choice to major in, but Dad put a stop to that pretty quick. I pull out various other things, dolls, a pipe, coins, and another pocket watch. I feel like this is worth a lot of money. Why don't they sell it? Probably, but it's family stuff. And I still think they want to do the museum. It gives me an awkward cough. Besides, we got plenty of money. We got the binder open, looking at black and white fuzz behind the plastic. Hey, this is him, right? He points at a picture of a very dignified-looking ram, thumbs in his vest, wearing one of those big top hats. A fox stands next to him in a similar pose. Oh my god, is this gonna be them? I can see a piece of yellowed paper set behind the photo and I check it out. James Hendricks. Yep, definitely him. Shit. And Jean Begay. Huh. That's Jenna's last name. Carl's phone starts buzzing. He grunts. He leans back to pull it out of his pocket. Hey, Mom. Helping Chase with this project. No, of course not. I look over at him, but he gets up and clops back up the steps. Looking back down at the picture, I wonder if it's just coincidence, but I don't think so. Jenna's family's been an echo since the beginning, too. So this guy definitely has to be a relative of some kind. I take a picture of the photograph with my phone. I'll show it to Jenna later and ask if she knows anything about it. To do that without a Carl. Carl raises his voice, so I look back at the steps, wondering if I should close the door. Hearing him anger like that didn't feel right. His parents were always hard on him, but I guess they had their reasons. I spend the next 20 minutes shuffling through the bins, trying to be careful not to break anything. I decide I have enough and put the lids back on the bins, lining the stuff I picked out along with the steps. I don't have anywhere else to put them. By the time I head back up into the actual basement, Carl's gone. Oh, jeez. As I approach Carl's room, I smelt before I even opened the door. He's reclining in his bed, an arm thrown over his face, the big window above him open. Clothes are scattered all over the floor, along with a few empty water bottles and bowls. Every inch of the walls are covered in posters, like I remember, along with a few on the ceiling. Bookcases line the opposite wall filled to the brim with comics and toys. He raises his arm as I walk in and smiles. Sorry about the mess, dude. It's hard to keep everything clean when the parents aren't here to yell at me about it. The lazy, crackling sound in his voice returned full force. His eyes are distant. It's okay. Are you okay? He grins toothily. Dude, I'm more than okay. So there's nowhere else to sit, I end up sitting down on the foot of his bed. There's literally a beanbag chair right there, but okay. Do they let the smoke? They let you smoke in here? The smell in his room is layered and old, like the walls have been blanketed in the smell several times before. Yep, they give up trying to stop me. Better to be in the house rather than getting caught by some cop outside. They just made me promise I would never try something harder. Good thing I don't know I've already tried dick. He puts a lot of emphasis on the K as the bad joke seems to dribble out of his muzzle. I lean back on the bed and that's when I notice his flat screen, just a 48-inch. Just a 48-inch? What the fuck? He's on, a list of video files displayed on it. What you watching? Oh. Carl grunts as he sits up and reaches for a game controller. Our old home movies, was gonna show you some of them. How about a birthday? Sure. He scrolls down the list and stops when Carl's 8th is highlighted and presses play. The backyard I was in an hour earlier, pops up on the screen. Now a long table sits in the middle of the lawn, along with a massive bounce house. Not just any bounce house, but a giant 2-story one you'd find at the state fair. The video is timestamped April 19th, 2002. Fuck, I remember this. There were about 20 kids, most in the bounce house. And most of them I've forgotten. Really, you have. Makes sense, though. Right now, though, the camera's zooming on an 8-year-old Carl. So Carl would have been born in 1994, then. He's messing with a giant Nerf gun, the kind that no kid ever gets because they're so damn expensive. And that's when 8-year-old me enters the picture holding a much smaller Nerf gun. His parents gave everyone a good goodie get bag that day, and had toys in it that I might not have been able to get out on my own birthday. My kid self puts the gun to Carl's head and pulls the trigger, the dart bouncing off one of his horns. I specifically remember that moment. I thought the suction end of the dart was going to stick, but of course it didn't. The audio was filled with a deep chuckle, Carl's dad behind the camera. You're a dick back then. What? I was 8. Still, you blew out my candles. Oh yeah. He got so mad about that. Start to settle back and smile. It's been a long time since I've watched a home movie and I've forgotten how nice it is to have this method of looking back. Kind of like when I got stuck on scrolling through all the old images on my phone. My younger self was trying to help Carl with the gun, looking at the barrel, looking at the opening. Careful. Kid Chase pulls his head back with its shoulders. Carl's dad yells and emerges behind the camera. See how long it takes him to trick Carl to train with him. Carl's dad sounds exasperated but good-natured. It still makes me blush a bit, now knowing how aware Jim was of my taking advantage of his son. Our struggle with the Nerf gun gets the attention of the kid, though. My breath catches in my throat as Sydney bounces into frame. I can feel Carl tensing up next to me, too, and starts to lean for the game controller. And here comes the Mormon boy. The disgust in Carl's dad's voice shocks me, and I hear Carl whisper a curse next to me as he fumbles for the controller. Sydney reaches out and pulls the gun away from Carl as he looks over, grinning. Hey! Suddenly the screen switches back to the file menu as they both sit there in silence for a few seconds. Sorry, I guess I forgot about that. Of course, Sydney was going to be at that party, but I almost forgotten too. If there was any way to perfectly ruin the mood, that'd have been it. I glance over at Carl and see him looking down at the gamepad at ears lowered, the insides red. Hey, it's okay. I mean, maybe it's a good thing to watch. My dad, I didn't know he'd say that. I'd rather not find out what else he said. Oh yeah. I look around trying to find something, anything to distract us from what just happened. My eyes fall on the shelves holding Carl's game library. Want to play a game? It's just like old times when we go out through Winter Castle. The fact that he still has the old save file from when he was in college makes it all the more nostalgic. I get so into it that it gets dark outside without me even knowing, and pretty soon I'm looking out at the purple sky reluctantly. By the time I go back, Carl sighs and pauses the game before stretching and dropping the controller onto his bed. Oh, come on. Sure you can't stick around? I don't know. I don't have any clothes or toothbrush. But I can walk over and get them. Carl seems pretty determined to make me stay, and there's not a reason why I can't, Sire Len. Alright, yeah, this could be fun. Yes! Carl looks happy and almost relieved. It'll be just like old times. He rolls to his hooves. Speaking of old times, let's make a pizza. I've suddenly caught Carl's enthusiasm. We go into the massive kitchen and pull a big frozen pizza from the fridge, and while it bakes, we sit at the counter and talk. At this point, the haze of pot has lifted from Carl's face, and he's animated and excited again, swilling on one of the counter stools. For the first time in almost 10 years, I'm giddy and excited in a way you only get when you're at a sleepover. That makes it a little jarring when he pulls out some beers, but I'm happy to have a few and we guzzle them down as we talk about past sleepovers. Pretty soon our reminiscing drifts into the present, and that's when the conversation slows a bit, Carl having less to say. I try to change the subject and tell him that he should come back to school. He just smiles and shakes his head. You really should though, Carl. You really should. 3 hours later, we're both lying back on Carl's bed, head to toe, having just watched a shitty action movie. We didn't end up going out to get my stuff, so I'm just in my boxers, pleasantly drowsy and buzzed. I hear Carl snuffle and look down my chest at him. What's up? He looks over at me and shrugs. Nothing. Just thinking. What about? During our past sleepovers, Carl had always been afraid to be the last one to fall asleep. He tried to get me up by talking, rolling over on top of me, and sometimes just throwing shit at me. I wonder if that's what he's doing now. I don't know. Life. That's a lot to think about. Not for me. I look over at him again. He's holding one paw up, looking through his fingers at the ceiling fan. Just figuring things out. Carl lets his arm flop back down over his head, blowing out a sigh. I'm not figuring things out, man. I don't say anything. It's cool that he's reaching out to me, but I'm not sure I can offer any advice that he hasn't heard before. I just wish I could be doing something. I think for a moment. You've done a lot more than some people I know. I mean, your art is great. You did go to school, even if you dropped out and you were working while you could. There are a lot of people out there who can't even say that. Carl laughs, but it's kind of a sad kind of laugh. Try saying it's my mom. She's always got something to do, always wants to do something. I just don't feel that. He turns his head towards me. I wish I did, Chase, but I just can't. His voice catches in his throat and I shrink up into the bed, pretend not to notice. The beer we've had is definitely partly to blame for this. He turns his head toward the wall and I'm guiltily relieved when he talks again, his voice under control. I just wish it wasn't such a goddamn chore for me to just go outside, you know? I didn't know, but I not anyway. Even if he can't see. He's waiting for me to say something, though, and so I clear my throat. I don't even know what to say here. I mean, on one hand, I hate that you have a problem. Don't take this the wrong way, but maybe you should see a therapist. He snorts and finally turns his head to look back at me, his horns bumping the wall loudly. I already do. I thought they'd just give me some pill to make things better, but apparently I have to actually make an effort too. And I'm like, isn't that why I'm seeing you? For the whole making an effort thing. I laugh along with him. Yeah, I can remember what that's like. He watches me for a few seconds. So is all that? Is all those problems you had taken care of now? No. No, Carl, that's not how it works. You don't get rid of your problems. You learn to manage them. I hope so. We lay in silence for a little while before I finally speak up. Listen, I'll probably come back a few times this week to work with the history stuff. Well, why don't we go out and do something? That would be nice. I grin, glad at making Carl feel better. Cool, let's plan on it. Carl puts his paws behind his head and smiles. It's cool that you're here, Chase. It's cool to be here, Carl. And not just because it's nice to have someone to talk to. Oh? No. This house is fucking haunted. Not gonna elaborate? Oh, thank God, I was so nervous for a second. I was so nervous we were getting like a scary shit. I mean, it's been a while since I played Carl's Route. In fact, I don't think I played it since I played it the first time, so yeah, been a minute. I don't remember falling asleep, but it's that moment that something wake. Oh shit, it's gonna be scary. Something wakes me up. I jolt and lay there trying to remember where I am. Carl's house, that's right. I stare at the ceiling wondering what time it is. I don't bother to look at my phone though because I'm already starting to fall back asleep. A scraping noise from beneath makes me jump and I prop myself with my elbows listening. Looking over, I see Carl staring at the ceiling, eyes wide. Carl? I whisper it, I'm not sure why. He jumps then and looks at me confused like he's just woken up. Huh? Are you okay? Yeah, what's wrong? I think I hear something. His floppy ears perk up. I don't. Then his eyes widen. Although I didn't hear anything right then, he definitely did. You hear it? Yeah, like a scraping noise I told you about. Yeah. He looks happy. So I'm not fucking crazy. We both sit there and listen for a while, but it sounds like it stopped. Wanna go see what? Suddenly his eyes widen, his muzzle drops open in shock. I stare back. What? Did you fucking hear that? I listen, feel my heartbeat prick up now that Carl looks fucking terrified, but I don't hear anything. What? A fucking voice. Fur raises up all over my body as I listen. Nothing. Carl definitely seems convinced though, so I listen harder. I just start to make out what might be a voice when Carl sits up next to me and gets out of bed. I feel myself start to panic. Some crazy hobo break into the house? Carl gets off the couch. Come on. What? What the fuck are we gonna do? Let's call the cops. No, let's make sure first. This has happened before. What? What do you mean? He puts a finger up to his lips. Grab something. What? I follow Carl out into the kitchen. He starts rummaging through the drawers. I follow him, hugging my shoulder, feeling a lot colder right now. With the sound of metal sliding against metal, Carl pulls out a giant steak knife. What the fuck? Dude, I've been hearing this shit for the past month and I've been too scared to go down here. But now with you here, he flashes me a smile. I'm gonna find out what the fuck this is. Here. He reaches into a spot behind the fridge on the wall and pulls out a broom before sticking it out to me. I take it slowly. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Hit him. Come on. Carl starts down the stairs and I follow behind, holding the broomstick in front of me like a sword. I've never had to hit anyone with a stick before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Once we get to the small door leading down to the crawl space, Carl pauses and we both listen. It's silent for a while, then... Shit! Carl looks at me like I'm crazy, not reacting to the noise at all. Shh! He leans down upon the handle. Looking back at me, he signals me with his eyes to be ready. I grip onto the broom like a lifeline as I wait for him to swing the door open, and when he does... Shit. whatever's down here is just slinking around in complete darkness. Hey! Carl says it unconvincingly, the fear clear in his voice. Then, after looking back at me, fuck it. He jumps down the crawl space, disappearing into the dark. What the fuck are you doing? Carl! I stumble up to the edge of the steps, trying to squint into the black. I hear Carl to the right rustling around and cursing. That's when the light floods the crawl space. I quickly wobble down the steps, knowing that whatever's down there is going to try to escape. It would be running right into me. Finally, I have a moment to catch my breath, standing several feet behind Carl as I look around and broom at the ready. There's nothing here. What the fuck? Sure enough, the crawl space looks empty. There aren't many places to hide either. Fuck, I'm looking around this fucking picture trying to see something. What the hell's going on, Carl? But he doesn't answer me. He's staring at the bins. Did you put the bins back? I look down, the bins are gone. I look back where they were originally. Sure enough, they're neatly stacked right where we found them. I honestly don't remember. Did I move them back? Maybe it would be something I might do. I try, but I just can't remember. Maybe? Dude, come on. I really don't remember. Carl walks further toward the back, ears perked, looking left and right as he clutches his knife. I start to follow, but that's when I notice something left my vision on the ground. No. Looking down, I see something fat and hairy. Oh no. A giant fucking tarantula. The fun few moments are a blur, but the next thing I know, I'm going up the stairs on my feet and paws, grabbing the door frame to pull myself up. Chase, what happened? I can hear him running up behind me, so I turn to warn him. Look out! A big spider! The breath keeps catching my throat. I think I'm hyperventilating. Still clutching the door frame as Carl falls up behind me, his eyes wide. What? Come on, Chase, this is crazy. No, huge, blonde. No fucking way. Now he looks excited and he turns back to the crawl space. I feel numb right now. This is all too much to handle. What the fuck is even going on? Which way? Shake, I point toward where the spider was crawling. Carl squints and walks down the steps, looking around. Careful. If it was really a blonde, there's not much to worry about. I hear they're actually pretty gentle. I gulp and don't say anything. My head is pounding and buzzing, which, for some reason, doesn't exactly feel like it has anything to do with the adrenaline rush. It's more like a bad headache. Oh no, is it the hum? Is it the fucking hum? Carl looks around a while longer while I focus on the steps, making sure nothing starts crawling up them. I don't even care about the possible hobo anymore. Finally, Carl comes back looking confused. Well, there's nothing there. You know, sometimes I see shit when I'm really tired and want to go back upstairs. There's nothing there. This can't be happening again. You mean hallucinations? Oh, Wednesday already, okay. Wednesday already, it's been 43 minutes. Alright guys, so that was Tuesday. Honestly, I hope y'all enjoyed this because I certainly did. It's been a while since I played Carl's Route, so it's really nice to just refresh on it and connect it to other shit that I've recently played in this game, you know? It's so weird because there's so much that I could talk about right now, but it would all involve a bunch of spoilers, so I can't really do anything about that. So yeah, it's just come back later, okay? The next video is gonna come soon.